Would you like to work closer to home, save money on gas, and be rewarded for your hard work and attendance? Then Bellisio Foods is looking for you. That's right, Bellisio Foods is now hiring for multiple positions and shifts with great employee benefits, an on-site health clinic, competitive wages, and advancement opportunities. Bellisio Foods is a company that truly values their employees. Apply online at BellisioFoods.com/careers.
Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where it is Thursday? Thursday, and we are here with our good friend Shannon and with SPARC, of course, and we are going to be talking about, well, some fun things that you guys have coming up, but also an event that you have at the Jackson County Fair, which has, proven to be kind of a big hit.
Yeah, we're approaching our third year.
Yeah.
Of, Prevention Day. It's on Kids Day.
Yeah.
And
Very
basically
cool.
It was introduced to the fair as a goal of bringing together our community partners and stakeholders to educate and inform Jackson County about health, safety, and prevention within a variety of things.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's one of those things that, you put forth this in front of kids and you have no idea how they're going to receive it. They could be like, oh, that's lame or whatever. And every kid that I've talked to has said, this is really cool. We've really enjoyed it. And so I think you're onto something. But so how did this whole situation get started?
So actually, this originated in Meigs County at the Meigs County Fair.
Okay.
It was in partnership with the Adam Ward and the Sheriff's Office back in 2018. We did a sort of like a drug prevention program at the fair. And
Okay.
it kind of grew from there. And so 3 years ago,
Fun.
I approached both Gallia and Jackson County fairs because we'd seen such success in Meigs. And I'm talking when they did it their first year, they had bikes, they had giveaways, they had a little bit of stuff that was going on.
Sure.
But we've increased just more the education efforts, more the partners that are coming in. But we found that there was growth in attendance as well. So it helped the fairs.
Yeah, it's win-win for everybody, right?
It's win-win for everything. And and it also really helps our partners out because, being at the fair all week, especially when you're an agency or an organization, it's really difficult to be present, to have a booth, to promote the things that you're doing in the county for a full week.
Yes.
We have a one-day event that we invite any of our partners who want to be part of that day.
Yes.
To come set up a table, have information and resources for about 250 to 300 kids that day. And, it's just a fun, engaging period for everyone.
Great.
And it's win-win for everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. And so let's talk for a minute about, I guess let's back up, and you haven't been here for a second. So you are work with an agency or organization named SPARC, right?
Well, so
Or
SPARC is
Adam-
our
I don't
community coalition.
Okay.
And I work for the Gallia Jackson Meigs Adam H Board, which is the Alcohol, Drug Addiction, Mental Health Board.
I just like to have her say it.
Yes, you do. Well, and so I am a member of Jackson County SPARC.
Okay, so SPARC is kind of a group offset of...
It's not even an offset of the Adam Board. We are a community group within Jackson County that is originated under the opioid epidemic and addressing opioid
There isn't any
and
problem,
substance
is there?
use.
There's no problems around here.
We've got problems everywhere.
Okay.
But Jackson County SPARC stands for the Substance Misuse Prevention and Addiction Resource Coalition.
Okay.
And so we've transitioned over the years where we had a really, really broad scope, and we've actually narrowed things down now to where we are focusing on the community as a whole, but we're using youth as our scope of focus right now.
Sure. That makes sense.
We've been tackling
underage drinking, which we also know we have resources that don't just focus on just underage drinking, but they actually connect with other substance misuse. We just know that alcohol is one of those things that sort of like is that starting point.
Yes, I could see that.
So, but yeah, we are so one of the things that we focus on is the Talk They Hear You program, which you guys have had a lot of things being promoted on. In fact, if you had been at the free movie theaters, we sponsored that, and we had a PSA out on Talk They Hear You.
I think that was is such a good campaign because it's just pointing out what should be so obvious. And that is, you should just talk to your kids, talk to your nieces and nephews and grandkids and whatever, and have that conversation. Is it fun? No. No. I mean, is it fun to talk about? There's all kind of things it's not fun to talk with our youth about. But yeah, they're listening.
And so one of the big things with that particular campaign and the reason why we support is, you talk to them at any age. You don't wait until they're a teenager to have this conversation. You start when they're young. And so one of the things that we did as a coalition several years back that we were recognized for is the fact that we are promoting family game night.
Yes.
As a tool of being able to open up that space for conversation and really have that focus. But on the Talk They Hear You campaign, which you can just search Talk They Hear You. It's a SAMHSA campaign. It's a it's a national, it's fully accredited, it's evidence-based. But within
open your mouth and talk to your kids.
But they have on their website, they have resources for parents that will,
which is so good. Tell me what to say because I don't know what to say.
So the cool thing is they have an app that you can download on your phone that actually will train you on what to say, give you a method, will give you the ability to actually practice. It'll record and let you hear back what you're saying, so that it's like, oh, well, maybe it came off wrong. So you don't have to just start immediately. You can take the time and practice in private.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because these are tough conversations.
Those are tough conversations. Those really are. And yeah.
Love that. So what is the app?
It is it's called, I think it's listed under Scream for Success, but it is the Talk They Hear You mobile app.
Okay.
So again, you can go to the SAMHSA website. I think it's talktheyhearyou.gov.
Okay.
And be able to find that app. I encourage all parents, in fact, not even just parents, just community members even.
Yeah,
prevention is not, we're all around kids.
Whether they're ours or not.
Yes. There's a lot of kids that I know that are not mine, but I will talk with them, and, even my niece, I'll talk with her.
It's easier. I've had this conversation a lot with like my nieces and stuff. It's easier sometimes to talk to someone else's child or have that cool aunt talk to you or whatever and have that conversation with them than sometimes it is a parent. So doesn't matter. Just talk with them.
Yeah,
Right?
definitely just talk with them because, it opens up doors. You can find out a lot of things that are going on, in their lives, taking the time to just, to do that. And I don't know, even monitoring things like screen time. Our coalitions across the 3 counties, we collectively even submitted for funding to promote youth gambling prevention.
Wait, is that a thing?
Youth gambling is a thing. Actually, we do have data.
What?
Yes. We had found that there were several of our kids that were actually reporting that they were gambling. I actually had a story from a parent who's actually in the field said, yeah, I was talking to a kid and they said that they actually took their mom's driver's license and credit card and was sports betting. And that's a bit of an extreme with the sports betting. But some of the other things that we have that are going on with youth gambling is if anybody's played Minecraft or anything that has loot crate boxes, that's actually precursor starting for youth gambling.
And that makes total sense because, I mean, even these stupid games that you play on your phone when you're, bored or whatever, the Candy Crushes and all of those things that people do, they all have these side, things that you can
Put money in.
put money into. And I think that you're right. I think that that's like, oh, well,
Yeah.
if I pay money to this, it just makes it easier and so on and so forth.
You get that instant gratification
yes.
quicker versus if you would have just waited for the 24 hours to just come back again.
Yeah.
There's a lot of psychology behind that.
Oh. No, I was talking with someone one day and they were talking about, and this is kind of off the subject of that, but they were talking about some of these games that people play on their phones and they're like as addictive as like drugs.
Yes.
Because it's just, I don't know why. Is it firing things up here?
Yes. Yes. So I can admittedly say that there is a lot of psychology behind the colors, behind the sounds, behind all the stuff that's programmed in to help keep people engaged and keep people invested. It's, similar to a number of things. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Interesting, but that's a whole other topic.
That's a whole other topic, but definitely encourage people to. It ties in, and we'll actually have we have a game wall that we have promoting Change the Game, and we've got some other information and resources that are available for parents to even look at and see if maybe they're concerned about risks for youth gambling.
Okay. Wow, you just threw one out there that I would have never even thought about. And, that all, whether it's gambling or drug addiction or alcohol addiction or whatever, it all comes back to, there could be stealing involved, there could be criminal activity involved, or the start of from that.
Yeah, I mean, some people do that to get, to be able to have that,
the resources
to do that, but probably not
Hopefully
as
we're
frequent as that. I'm hoping it's not that big of an issue. We haven't pulled that data. That would be getting in partnership with our law enforcement to pull that kind of information.
It would be, yeah.
But accessibility is one thing. But I can say, even just the social perception of things, what can kids do with their time? But kids are kids. We know that they get into things, but I have to say that we may not necessarily see things like underage drinking as an issue, but it is an issue. We have a percentage that have reported that they do underage drink, as frequently in a 30-day period. We have that data that shows that. But on the plus side, we also have a good percentage that say that they don't. So that is a good sign. And I can say that since we've been promoting the Talk They Hear You program,
which comes back
to First Slur, we actually saw an increase in kids reporting parental disapproval. We did see an increase of kids being asked. So we know that with efforts like this, we can actually create change in our communities.
Yeah. And again, it all seems so simple, but sometimes the obvious is the most missed.
Yeah. Just talking.
Talk to your kids.
Talk to your kids. Have a conversation with them. Or just any kid in your life. If there's a kid in your church or anything, don't be afraid to talk to them.
Sure. Ask them how their day is.
Ask them how their day is. Because you sometimes it's even that simple conversation. There could be substance. There could just be other issues that are going on. We've got depression. We've got a lot of
sad, and I don't know why.
Yeah, it's like,
okay,
talk to them.
Yeah.
Spend some time with them. It's how you prevent suicide. It's how you prevent a number of things. It's just talking.
It's so
easy,
obvious,
and it's free.
Right? Yeah, and it's free.
It's free to talk.
And you know what? A lot of times it can be fun.
Yes.
So that's a great thing. Which brings us to your event.
Yes.
At the Jackson County Fair, which is so amazing, and it has grown every year. And so we're going on year 3
Yes.
now, and it's called Rock This Life.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, every person that we've had to come in and talk about the fair has mentioned this event.
Well, that's awesome. I love it.
Yeah. So even like our, 4-H, Maddie Allman was in and Josh yesterday. They mentioned the event. The Queens all mentioned the event. The Fair Board members that have stopped by mentioned that event. So it is something that is important to everybody.
Yeah. The big message is we want to let everyone know that there is hope, that they can be the life kind, to be kind, be vape free, live mentally healthy and substance free lives.
Again, it's pretty simple.
Pretty simple. And we're really excited about this year because, last year we went big and man, we had rain, we had thunderstorms, and we still had a really good turnout despite the weather. But two of our features during that day didn't get to make it. Batman had an emergency.
Oh no.
He got called away and couldn't make his appearance.
Sometimes the life of crime and sucks you in, and Batman has to take care of it.
Yeah, he definitely had to take care of that. So we had a lot of disappointed kiddos, but you know what? Batman's going to be here this year. He's coming this year. It's going to be him, the Batmobile. I thought it was going to be Wonder Woman, but guess what? Batgirl.
What?
Batgirl
and Batgirl. How fun.
Yes. So Batman is supposed to arrive at 2:45 on Monday.
It's going to be
in the Batmobile.
In the Batmobile?
In the Batmobile.
Okay. So do the kids actually get up close and personal with
yes.
the Batmobile?
Yes.
And Batman?
Yes.
And Batgirl?
Yes. It's really exciting. And Batman, he comes from the West Virginia Batcave. Yes. And he has an awesome message. So I definitely encourage, parents and kiddos to come out for that. I think that's when he's supposed to arrive at 2:45. So about 3:00 is when he's going to give his message. But he talks about where he has, it's probably, if I'm going off of where he's done in the past, the 4 steps to, greatness and things that, he really wants to encourage kids to know that no matter the situations that they're in, that they are good, that they can get out of their situations that they are in, that they don't have to live by that. Sure. Because he's been down rough roads, and he wants to encourage kids to let them know that they can make a change, that they can make a difference. And and he talks about, he even talks about kids' mental health. And I found that to be, I learned a lot from him.
Really?
I learned a lot from Batman.
I
learned a lot from Batman.
Love that.
So definitely encourage, parents and kids to come out and hear Batman and hear what he has to say.
Heck yeah. And then, so this is on Monday, which is
on Monday,
which
yes.
is Kid Day.
Yes.
So kids under 13 get in free anyway.
I think it's 12. Is it 12 or is it 13?
I think they said 13, didn't they?
Okay.
I think they said 13.
Oh, well, that's news.
Unless they said it wrong, but I was pretty sure it was 13.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so you can bring the kids and
yeah, so our event is from 1 until 5. We had previously, last year, we had been down at the grandstand, but this year we're going to be back up to the other stage, the one that's over by the big white commercial building.
Okay.
I think they call that the Midway stage.
I think that's what they call it, yeah.
So that's where we are going to be this year. We've got Rockin' Reggie.
I don't understand. He's like omnipresent. He's everywhere.
He's the man. The man is a legend.
He is. I mean, he is everywhere.
He is everywhere.
He's great.
He is great at what he does. And it's not just about playing music. It's about games. And he also has messages and information that he gives. And so we're really excited, of course, to always have Rockin' Reggie and all the fun that comes with him. I can't wait to see who wins the flossing dance.
The wada?
The flossing dance competition.
Do you know what that is, Dylan? I do. Dylan knows something. What? Not that he doesn't know things, but every time we talk about some of those shows, like, never heard of that. Like Frank Sinatra and, stuff.
Oh.
But All right, get up and show us what the flossing dance is.
I have never done it once before in my life, so in no way use this as an example. It's like something like this. I'm supposed to be flossing.
Flossing what?
Your
My legs,
your
I
legs.
guess. Yeah, I'm not good at it. Just watch a YouTube video.
Okay. Well,
So get your floss practice on.
listen, I appreciate the fact that he
Yes.
went there. So the flossing dance is like a kid thing or
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just one of the many things that I've seen. I mean, we have.
Fortnite thing?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. So now I know where. Now when.
kind of both. A football player did it once, I think, and then it became a Fortnite thing.
Okay.
We
Well,
don't know where it originated. It's kind of like the Jackson County veal.
all I know is that I see it. I'd seen it everywhere whenever Reggie was at somebody. Okay, flossing, and it's like, okay, I have no idea what this is, but we have limbo.
Oh, I'm not as limber
Limber
as I once was. We'll let the kids do that too.
Yeah, and I think he's even brought in the hula hoops, and I've seen adults doing the hula hoops.
Oh yeah, I love hula hooping. It's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
Yes. And again, who frowns while they're hula hooping?
I don't think I've ever seen anybody frown while hula hooping.
I don't think so either.
Wow.
Because it is hilarious and it's fun
Yeah,
and you giggle like a kid.
Yes.
So that's great.
you know,
Yeah. That's
So
the whole point, right?
that's the whole point.
So, okay, so you're having all kind of fun games.
Yeah, and so our other rained out performance was the Bart Wiseman Foundation Sonic Rhythm Academy.
Yes.
We are so excited to have them up on. We're going to have them up on the stage. They're going to be performing for about half an hour, starting at 4:00.
Wow.
So
That's great.
come out and definitely support those kiddos.
And again, how could you not smile and have a good time when you're watching the kids play?
Oh yeah, it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so much fun.
That's great.
And of course, you know, a lot of the things that we have wouldn't have been possible without some of our partners that actually sponsored. We have a lot of people that did, but we had some really big sponsors. And of course, I will say that the Atom Board is one of the big sponsors. We have traditionally supplied the grand prize. And this year's grand prize is a $575 value. It is a 1-year membership to the Wilds and the Columbus Zoo.
What?
And a $50 gas card.
Yes. That's awesome.
Yeah, go on a safari.
Heck yeah.
And you can go multiple times because it's a 1-year membership.
It's a year pass.
Yeah.
How fun.
Yeah, because we had been thinking about it's like, well, in the past we've done things like trampolines. Like, well, not everybody wants a trampoline or has the ability to have a trampoline, but family time is always a good time.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
yeah, come out and definitely register for the many prizes that we've got, which we've got some cool ones. So other than the grand prize, we've got bikes we're going to be giving away. We have got, have you heard of bucket golf?
Bucket golf.
Yeah.
No, I've heard of disc golf.
So it's kind of like the concept of disc golf and everything like that, but you have these big collapsible buckets that you can set. It's like 6 holes that you can take out anywhere. You can take to the park and have a round of golf.
Okay, love that.
Yeah.
So you have a set?
We have a set of that. We've got Can Jam Pickleball because pickleball's like gaining popularity.
Of course.
We've got a lot of giant games like
Cool.
Giant Connect 4.
Yeah.
Giant snakes and ladders. Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other things that we have. We've got a water table for little kids.
A water table.
Yeah. So it's like this multi-level table that they can play with water and the toys and all this stuff. It's like,
That sounds
it does sound fun.
like us adults are like, get out of the way,
Us adults are like, hey, I want to splash and get into that. Then we've got like a cornhole and ladder golf game, table combo set. So it's like everything all in one. It's really cool.
Perfect.
But yeah, we've just, from the bikes to again, things that are going to be either fun, physical, healthy activities or overall engagement for families was our goal.
I just saw on Facebook before I came here talking about basically the lowest life expectancy in Ohio. I don't know if you saw that this morning or not, but
I didn't.
Jackson County, I think, is 5th, but all of the counties around us are basically the top counties. And it's because I don't know why we don't do it, but we don't get out and move our butts.
That's interesting.
Kids need to move their butts, and humans and adults need to move their butts. And these bikes and all of these fun yard games, if you're playing them, you're doing something.
Yes.
And it's fun, though.
Yes. It is fun. And, and again, there's opportunities for conversations.
Exactly.
So, yeah. And so some of our other really big sponsors were the Counseling Center and then Jackson County Job and Family Services.
Oh, yes.
So we are grateful for all of them for making a lot of these prizes possible. We have many others that we'll be mentioning on that day. Oh, and I will say Holzer definitely is one of our fantastic partners for that.
They are amazing.
They are amazing. But we'll have all of our, I think I checked this morning, I think we have 18 different organizations that are going to be set up that day.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that they'll all be giving things away.
Information. And I can say that this year we're introducing our Rock This Life coloring book.
I was getting really excited looking at that.
Which has been custom made.
Yes.
And so you won't find this coloring book just anywhere. It's a lot of fun little pages. We have, from the Suicide Prevention Collaborative, they have positive words for kiddos to read and reflect on and think about themselves, but different activities. We've got the health departments in here. My favorite, though, is this for the Barton Wiseman Foundation. We've got the band members all having fun and playing and just...
That's great.
Yeah, but there's a bunch of little tips and resources in this. So it's not just a coloring book. It's actually something that will give you information. So like the social wellness fact on this page with Barton Wiseman, it's take care of yourself while caring for others. Keep up with your hobbies and interests when you can. What good advice. It's not just for kids. It's for everyone.
It should be so obvious, but we all forget these little things.
Yep.
Yeah.
And of course,
Point it out.
On the back, we've got our Talk They Hear You information and the QR code that will take you to the website.
Well, there you go. Super easy.
Super easy.
Now, where do you pick up this coloring book?
At our event. We will have a registration table that everybody will be able to come get their coloring book. We have bags and all that stuff.
So you have like little goodie bags.
Goodie bags, yes.
How fun. So how many kids would you like to come? Infinite?
Well, I've got 350 of these. So at least 350. If I exceed that, I will be over the moon.
Yes.
But we'll have plenty of other things for everybody. But definitely encourage you to come out early, and just engage and have fun.
See Batman. Who doesn't want to see the... I mean, I kind of like to see the Batmobile.
It is so cool.
Is it cool?
It's really cool.
See?
It is really cool to see up close.
I can imagine. And, again, it is Kids Day. So kids, I do think they said under 13. I could be wrong on that. So please don't hold me to it. Get in free. So it's also a perfect opportunity to take those kids down, see the junior fair, pet animals, see all the animals that maybe you haven't ever seen or the kids haven't gotten to see up close and personal as well. And of course, there'll be some great food and different things.
Yes. And from what I hear, we're not going to have rain, right?
I don't
on
think
Monday.
So. Hayden, you have the weather forecast. I don't know if it goes through Monday or not. Let's see what it says so far. Yep.
No rain on Monday.
No rain on Monday.
Let's hope it stays that way.
I think so. And of course, 93 degrees because it's the Jackson
Yeah,
County
so
Fair.
bring water.
Yeah,
Bring your water.
bring
Please
your
bring
water bottle. Everybody's got these goofy Stanley things they carry around. Bring it.
Yeah.
And fill it up, and yeah, be safe out there as well. But the fair is a fun place, and this event is obviously very fun for the kids. As I said, everybody's mentioned it that's stopped by here, so it's a really good thing, and hopefully you guys can continue it on.
Oh, it is our goal to hopefully see it continue on.
Yeah, and there's a lot of there's something for kids of any age too.
Yep. Yes, there is. So
if you want to, if you're a teenager, please come.
Yep. Resources and information for you too.
Yeah, absolutely. So while you're here, I wanted to ask you about something. I've noticed in the book, and you really haven't mentioned it. You mentioned it a little bit. Is this vaping thing?
Yeah.
It is creating a whole new world of problems. For both adults and kids and whatever. And mostly to the fact is, from my standpoint is number one, you don't know what's in the vape that the people are vaping.
Right.
And number two, you can't really smell it that much. It's easier to hide. So how are we combating that? Talking to the kids?
I know that there are things that when, the schools, they've got some things in place. I know that we have some of our prevention partners that have education that they can provide on vaping. But I do know that our health department, they have a vaping and tobacco cessation helpline.
Yes.
So I will definitely say that, Marcia over at the health department.
She's awesome.
She's awesome. But she is our local authority. She's our local, I would say, expert on a lot of
Marcia.
that stuff.
She comes in here.
Yeah. So I was actually really excited when she had said that she was going to put in for the coloring book, and the fact that we have information on that quit line. Yes. That is available, and as well as for the teen, My Life, My Quit. Because it is an epidemic that's also just sort of the availability is increasing. Everything's just, a lot of people are really interested in it, and they think that it's safe, that it's not smoking, when in reality we don't know what will happen from vaping right now.
It's all still so new. It's not new, but it is new.
It's not just water. There's oils and other things that are in that, and a lot of chemicals that go into the lungs. And, I'm hearing things about kiddos with popcorn lung, and, It's like, we shouldn't be hearing about, those things for kids. We know that we have seen issues across, and I've heard all over the state from coalitions, and, vaping has been an increasing concern definitely among our young people. Accessibility, some of the other things, it's just, we've had talks of, where parents are supplying and letting their kids, thinking that it will actually help them go to sleep, when in reality, the kiddos that are addicted to vape devices are up more frequently during the night than if they were with a cigarette.
How would you think it would make your kid go to sleep?
They don't. I think that they think it just sort of calms nerves, when it actually does the reverse.
It's nicotine. Like, again, whether you're getting it from a cigarette or whatever.
And one of those cartridges is basically an entire pack of cigarettes. So if you got a kid that's going through and vaping, they've just had an entire pack of cigarettes in a day.
Wow. And, you have the old adage of, well, mom and dad are doing it, so why can't I?
Well,
which is a whole other
you don't do it.
Topic.
You shouldn't do it. I mean, there is, well, first of all, I think there is an age,
Yeah, it's 21.
Is it 20? Yeah, 20,
cigarettes.
20
Yeah,
for 21
for-
for cigarettes,
for
and
for
I believe vape
alcohol
devices
and tobacco now. Yeah.
So, and I think vaping also falls under that tobacco category. So it's like 21.
Yeah. It's wild.
Yeah.
But, you see it. I think that I got a letter from somebody the other day at the brewery, and it's basically the state is from the state of Ohio, and they have passed, a lot of legislation that says you literally now physically have to, and I need to find the sign. I just told on myself because I don't have it. You have to put a sign there in your window clearly that says no vaping and no smoking in this establishment. And I'm like, okay, I don't know why we have to do that, but they say that we have to do it. So, but I don't know, maybe it's just a friendly reminder to people. And all of these people that think, well, I'm inside and I'm sitting, at a table and no one will notice, or I'm not actually physically smoking a cigarette, so it's okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
There's still secondhand
There's still
smoke.
secondhand. Yes.
If you want to drink a beer, cool. I mean, you're not doing anything to anybody else, like whatever. But legally, by the way. Shannon's just fell out of her chair. Hey, I got to give myself a plug.
Hey, and that's okay. We know that, people we know that responsibly drink.
Yeah.
Responsibly drink.
Yes. And it's okay. But no, and then, so sitting at a bar or sitting at a restaurant or sitting, anywhere where you wouldn't be able to fire up a cigarette, why do you think that you can?
Well, I think that one of the other concerns, though, with the smoking and the vaping part is they're able to at least maybe prevent even, we have legalization of marijuana. Mm-hmm. And so marijuana can be in
the cartridges.
In the cartridges. And so I think that there's more to it than it's just.
We're creating a whole other set of problems that we've never had to combat before.
Yeah. And they're still working on, legislation and everything like that in the state to have those parameters put in place. And it's not about taking away the right, but it's making sure that people, again, are doing things safely and that we're not seeing issues coming up arising with our kiddos.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you could, the whole legalization of marijuana, whether it be medicinal or recreational now, is something that, and the prevention of abuse is something that should tie together. It shouldn't be like this. It should be everybody working together.
Everybody working together.
For the greater good.
Everybody getting educated and just having a basic understanding of how things impact. Because we know that, marijuana does impact, youth brains. Along with a lot of these other substances.
What happened to that old egg commercial? It was great.
It was great and memorable. I will say, in the sense that it was memorable to us, but scare tactics don't work.
Okay. And that's interesting because that was something that was talked about here in the building one day. It was, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it used to say, this is your brain. And then they would crack an egg and throw it in the frying pan, and they would say, this is your brain on drugs.
Any questions?
Any questions? I thought it was pretty effective. I don't know. But no, and we all had to go through the rigmarole of them hossing wrecked vehicles into the football field and at prom time and all of that. And it's actually been proven that doesn't work, right?
Yeah, it's not. It's been proven not to be effective to prevent. And actually, some of the other concerns that I've raised from things like that has been trauma that kids may have had. Maybe they knew somebody that was in a wreck, or they had been in a wreck themselves, and so that
you're reliving it.
They could potentially relive that traumatic experience, or unfortunately, maybe someone they knew died in a motor vehicle accident. I know I lost someone I knew in high school.
Yes.
in a motor vehicle accident. And so whenever I see those wrecks, it triggers something in you, and not everybody responds the same. We may think, oh, it looks really cool, but maybe to that one individual or that one family, it could be very traumatic and triggering, and then could induce a number of other thoughts and feelings.
It can haunt you.
It can haunt you. But at the same token, it's not been proven that by having that parked out there is going to prevent kids from drinking. What's going to prevent kids from drinking is not hosting parties, by talking to your kids.
Again, open your mouth. And
Just
talk to
having a
them.
conversation about, when it's appropriate, that when you're an adult at that age, that is when it's appropriate to drink.
And I guess it's different, because I remember going to prom and it never even crossed my mind to do that. You know what I mean? And like, we all got together at one of my best friends' houses, and the mom and dad were there. And we all went there after prom and just hung out and whatever. And there was not even a thought of us doing anything like that. But I guess there are where-
some people out there that think that you need to have alcohol. I have to say, I have a friend with a group called Vive 18 out in Arizona, and I think it was when he was living in Minnesota, but he's living in Arizona now. But as a college student, he didn't drink. He chose not to drink, but he
Which would be
decided,
tough as a college
which
student.
is tough as a college student. But he thought about all of his other friends, and so he said, "You know what? I'm going to throw a party that does not involve alcohol,
Okay.
and that people can have fun at." He said he had a couple hit and misses, but when he had people that he was looking at that he knew that were aligned with fraternities or something like that, were in athletics, and you always saw them, with, like, they would have beer shirts, and then he said, "Hey, will you come out to my party?" Yeah, I'll come out, because, they get in trouble.
Yeah.
If they get caught or they get busted, and they risk losing some things.
But it's
So
a fun social event.
it's a
for
fun
them.
social event. And so that's what I absolutely love about my friend Jake is, he has this platform where he shared and, is inspiring other kids to host their own alcohol-free parties. It's like,
that.
I want to see more of that. I'd love to see alcohol-free events. Because that then is also, I'm going to get on a platform, supports our recovery community, or those that just don't engage in drinking.
Yeah, sometimes it can go the other way. So you have peer pressure a lot of times to drink, or, kids do, but it could be peer pressure not to. Be a good thing.
So interesting, and it's interesting you bring up the peer pressure part. So we had, as part of some work that we're doing with making our strategic plan for underage drinking, we had conversations with some folks in the community, and it was hearing that adults felt that they had peer pressure to encourage drinking with their kids. It's like, oh, it's okay. It's fun. If it's like this parent's having this party to be cool, so they're still in that peer pressure spot.
Isn't that insane that
To be the cool and
be the cool
popular
parent?
to be the cool parent that you feel like you have to have alcohol at a party.
yeah, no.
No,
I,
you don't, just being there, being there, showing up, listening, and having those alternatives is definitely the way to do it.
You've got it. Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's just be there for your kids, talk to them, do the right thing.
Do the right thing.
Yeah. It's not hard.
Nope.
Well, Shannon, thank you so much for being here. Don't forget the Rock This Life event this coming Monday at the Jackson County Fair, and bring all the kids. Again, it's Kids Day, so the kids under 12 or 13 get in free, and they can participate in this. They can win some really cool prizes. They can dance. They can just have a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me here. And I'm sure I'll be back again with some other information and other things that we're doing.
Well, you better.
I will.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have a message from our friends at Vinton County Bank. Then our good friend Pete Wilson just walked through the door. So we'll be back with some news right after that.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back. Come on over, Pete Wilson, and we will go over this weather forecast as we head right into the Jackson County Fair. Today is Thursday, July 11th, and it looks like some sunshine in the forecast with highs of 86 degrees. Tomorrow on Friday, a bit warmer, and Saturday, a bit warmer than that, so highs in the low 90s. And then as we head into Sunday, a tiny chance of rain, and Monday for our event. Looks like no rain in the forecast and highs of 93. Man, yesterday ended up being just a wonderful day. I actually had a goosebump or two because it was like 77 degrees outside or whatever, but it's still 20 degrees lower than what we're used to at this point. We're so confused.
Had to go from AC to the heater in our
Yeah.
cars and our homes. And it was windy on top of that.
The wind was rough, and then you had this like weird misty rain. I don't even know what was happening. I guess it's the remnants of the hurricane.
Burl. Yeah, he wasn't very nice down in Texas.
No, he was not very nice at all, and he can go somewhere else.
Right. Well, how about Maine? Maybe about right now.
I'd say he's in Maine about right now.
Okay, well, they're used to that kind of weather there.
Exactly. So what is going on today, Pete?
Okay, well, we're going to cover some news, and the first thing is, we always try to be as fresh as we can. And on the breaking side, we just had a statement released by the Vinton County prosecutor, William Archer, regarding the CVB issue up there. CVB stand, of course, for Convention and Visitors Bureau.
Okay.
Which, all local counties can have one
Yeah.
of those and should have one of those to promote tourism-related
Absolutely.
deals. And there has been, however, an issue in Vinton County not too long ago, and this was actually reported, our man Red Thompson Jr. was ahead of this story. He actually reported some of what the prosecutor released yesterday in a story that we already had in the paper. On July the 2nd, not this Wednesday, not this Tuesday, but the Tuesday before, the Vinton County Commissioners voted to suspend funding to the Vinton County CVB. Now that's
Oh.
definitely cutting off their financial lifeline there.
Yeah.
You've got to understand, and most people don't, how the structure works. Vinton County Commissioners, of course, part of county government. The revenue stream to support CVBs and or tourism, if it's separate from the CVB, is something called a bed tax or lodging tax, which all counties have. That's a surcharge for lodging.
Sure.
And that money is supposed to be used to promote tourism.
Right.
All right.
You stay at the hotel, and the hotel room's $99 a night, and by the time you get done, it's $159 a night. That's why.
Right, because of the extra surcharges
Sure.
put on for the lodging tax and
Other
so
things.
it's kind of like a user fee, and the people visiting, mostly from outside of county, are the
Sure.
ones who pay that. But there have been some issues under the surface that have not been detailed or specified with the current CVB of Vinton County. And the commissioners voted to suspend the funding. I know they work with the prosecutor, Bill Archer, on that. And Mr. Archer, in this statement, actually called it a news release that was issued yesterday. He confirmed that this was done at the July 2nd meeting. We did have in a story over the weekend that it had happened because we had it confirmed through the commissioners. Red Thompson did that. But what Mr. Archer confirmed in addition to that is that that two things are happening in what they hope will be a transition to a new control of the tourism money in Vinton County and how it is used to promote tourism. What they want to do is get resignations from the current CVB board. All right, right now the chair and three of the other seven members of the CVB have resigned. Resignations have been sought from the three remaining members who have not resigned. There's been a second request for those resignations. Those resignations have to come in before the commissioners can move forward. appointing a new tourism board. They will appoint an interim tourism board, and then it'll be worked out how it's going to function after that. But the commissioners and the prosecutor, bottom line, feel that there were, quote, irregularities and operational issues with the old CVB, which is
Okay.
still the current CVB officially. It still exists. It's just they're not going to get any money, so it's going to be hard for them to do anything. So they are looking to kind of transition there. Now, I talked with Mr. Archer on the phone this morning to find out what's an irregularity. Well, some
Yeah.
of that isn't going to be said. However, he did say he described it as perhaps auditing issues and procedural type things. He does not believe that it's criminal, all right? Because, you know, your mind can race from A to
Yeah,
Z when you
right.
hear the word irregularities. But that was, he tried to pin it down a little bit more for me there, and we'll work that into his news release and our upcoming story, kind of like a blending of what he put out and plus what I was able to get from him on the phone this morning. But in limbo right now is their current marketing director, who has, of course, been on the Reds Roundup TV show here on Main Street TV, and that is Amanda Boring, who a recent graduate of the University of West Virginia, very bright young lady from Vinton County. She chose to leave the big city. She had a job in Pittsburgh to come back and be the marketing director. Well, the current CVB board, which is the one they're trying to phase out, laid her off, as all this was happening, where the money was getting cut off, because, you know, the money's getting cut off.
Right,
hard
so
to
nothing
pay her,
to pay her.
hard to pay her salary. So the commissioners and the prosecutor have tried to make it clear that they would like her to continue as the marketing director, or whatever they call it, once they get back on their feet. The lodging tax is still being collected. The bed tax is being collected. It's being put in escrow, and then it will be used as it's supposed to be used once they have, for want of a better word, this reorganization with new members of a tourism board, or a revamped CVB that the commissioners will appoint.
Okay.
It's kind of an awkward thing because the CVB legally and technically is not under county government, but it depends on the county bed tax. So there has to be
Okay, a
so
collaboration.
so in this case, while the commissioners, and, you know, I'm not sure all what's happened, you know, behind the scenes on this, but it was obvious that the commissioners, and I know maybe some other county officials, were concerned about the CVB as it existed now, even though it's its own animal, but they control the purse strings. So that is what is in the transition happening up
Okay.
in Vinton County. We're working on a story now. I stopped working on it to come and talk to you on where we are and exactly what the Vinton County prosecutor William Archer says about the situation. So that's one of the things that we'll be reporting on in Saturday's paper. But the bottom line is that resignations are being sought from the current CVB members, with the idea that there'll be a new tourism board or an interim board while they kind of do a reset.
Gotcha.
All right, we want to confirm that it is now on the ground. The Oak Hill Lakeview Grocery that was over there by Lake Jackson. There it is. It's that's what it looks like now.
Wow.
Maybe even yesterday they cleaned that rubble up, but once again, that store goes way back in Oak Hill history. It's not in Oak Hill, it's outside Oak Hill, almost all the way to Lake Jackson. In addition to being kind of like a little grocery store there, obviously a bait store and like that for people using Lake Jackson as a fishery. Also, in its later days, and it's been closed for some time, it was a video store. Eric Shipman, the late Eric Shipman, owned it and operated it for a while, very well known. He passed away. He became very well known for his advocacy of outdoors here in Jackson, outdoors sportsmen, hunting and fishing. He passed away, and after that, it really didn't last a real long time. The building's been empty for a long time, and it got on the list for the land bank to be demolished, and now that property will be reopened for redevelopment, just as Mike's Dairy Freeze is up in Wellston.
There you go.
All right, we wanted to tell you what the update is, or the lack of an update, on the Jackson Middle School concession building.
Yeah.
Down there at the middle school football field. That is what it looks like now. They did a little painting. That building will be coming down. The goal was
to take it down this summer and have a new and better building in its place that had restrooms.
Yes.
The middle school football field, which used to be the high school football field, some folks may not think of that much anymore, but it's very busy. It serves both of the middle school football teams and the Pee Wee program.
Yes.
A lot of people come in there. One of the problems was in the old days, you went into to a building.
It was
one of the
locker rooms or something,
right,
wasn't it?
to use the restroom.
Yeah,
and you don't do that now. You
It was
can't
on
do
the
that.
visitors' side, but
Right.
still, you
Right.
had a restroom to do.
So they have porta potties. So they do have restrooms, but that's not adequate. They feel that's not adequate.
Let's just be honest. Nobody wants to go to a porta potty.
Right. And so the goal was to build a new building that had restrooms. Brian Moore, who is the president of the Jackson City Board of Education and also the owner-operator of Brian Moore Construction, was going to step up again. And, what a great guy. He was going to, donate his skills, planning, labor, all like that to do this building. I mean, that's fantastic. He kind of had a big hand in the softball hitting facility up on the Jackson High School campus. But anyway, the bottom line is it's not going to be done this year because of the amount of regulation and hoops they've had to jump through. They have not been able to get their state approvals. Part of the problem was that a small part of the property was in the floodplain. They didn't even know that it was, and that changed everything.
Listen,
as far as the building specs.
We've all been around for a few years. Let's be honest, Pete. And has that football field ever flooded? I understand that technically maybe it is, but I've never seen it flood.
No, it's a little confounding, and even with that, they thought they could still get it done. But as of the last time I checked, they've still not got that rubber stamp of approval from the state of Ohio there.
Well, trust me, I know the state can be picky.
Right. And because the football starts even in late August, they don't have time to, even if they got the approval tomorrow, they don't have time to take down the existing building and build the new building. So they hope to maybe do that later in the year after football season is over, and if not, certainly finish it or do it in the spring. Plenty of time for next football season.
Absolutely.
It's also going to serve as the restrooms for the adjacent Howler Field baseball facility.
Okay.
Because it has no restrooms. It uses porta potties, and you got to walk a distance to use them, actually. So that's the update on that. Also want to remind you that the Marquet Cultural Center has a new exhibit. It is the quilt show that comes.
Fun!
Those quilts right there, one depict each month of the year, and it's from Amanda Walters with Liberty Lane Quilting.
Yes,
has that
she is amazing.
Quilt shop. She is amazing, and that is just one of the displays there. But I believe there's a total of 20 different quilts there. You see
Is that
both
popcorn?
walls there. It looks like it doesn't.
How cute!
From covering these Marquet monthly galleries, you think quilts, that's not art. You look at that and tell me that that's not art.
Yeah, I would make that argument all day long.
That is really something. But that exhibit will go
art.
this month and next month, I understand. So plenty of time to get in there and see it. Whenever the Marquet is open, for a show or for gallery hours, you can go in for free. So don't let that stop you. Okay, we also want to tell you there's a big event out at Lake Alma. Christmas in July will break out at Lake Alma State Park.
That's always a fun one.
The Friends of Lake Alma and some other volunteers do that in cooperation with the state park staff. Anyone who has been to Lake Alma knows it's very picturesque and beautiful. They used to have events out there a long time ago. They had something called a beach party that started in the 90s. The idea was let people see how wonderful Lake Alma is, how beautiful it is, the facilities that it has, and let's have a good time. Well, the Friends of Lake Alma, this is kind of an extension of that. Christmas in July, they stick it between 4th of July and the Jackson County Fair. So it will be mostly on Saturday. They'll also have a movie, though, in the Parks Amphitheater at 9 o'clock on Friday evening, but events all day, breakfast with Santa, a cute kids contest, bingo, ornament painting, a golf cart parade, a bike parade, campsite judging, DJ, and music in the evening. We've got a list that's online, on Facebook, and in the paper if you're interested in these particulars. The Vinton County Health Department is sponsoring a Vinton County Cleanup Week. It will start Saturday, July the 13th, and go through Friday, July the 19th. And there will be 3 different places where there will be dumpsters placed in different locations of the county that will make it very convenient to get rid of your stuff that maybe
Love that.
doesn't fit so easily in a garbage can.
Sure.
But these dumpsters will be at the Zaleski Memorial Park, Wilkesville Park, and the MacArthur Fire Department 2, which is on US 50 near Allensville.
Okay.
All right. And Lee Hubbard is warning us that the second half real estate tax bills have gone out.
Love you, Lee. Had to write that check yesterday.
Oh, did you? Okay. Well, it's an oucher, isn't it? But there's a lot of good things that they do with
No,
that
I know.
money.
I know.
But they're due by Friday, July the 26th. And he always puts this notice out publicly, which he should. They mail out the tax. But if somehow it gets lost in the mail or you lose it, you gets under a bunch of sale bills and you don't see it, you're still responsible.
Tough duty.
You're not going to beg off.
Pete
So-
Wilson will put your name in the paper.
Well, later on, somebody will, and they'll pay us to do it. No, nothing personal. But once again, those second half tax bills are due by Friday, July the 26th. They do make it easy. You can do it online. You can do it at West Banco. You can drop them off in a drop box in front of the courthouse, or you can go in the courthouse, give them a call. Lots of things, lots of ways to pay. But the second half real estate tax bills due Friday, July the 26th, and that's coming up in a couple weeks.
There you go.
And tomorrow when we come back, we'll give you a primer going into the Jackson County Fair. Remember, officially, the fair starts on Friday. Full operations
does.
not until Monday, but harness racing on Friday and Saturday evening. And we'll tell you what pari-mutuel wagering is if you don't know, but you can bet on the ponies.
Bet on the ponies. That's right.
Right, but remember, the house is always going to come out a little bit ahead or they can do it.
The odds are against you, but it's still fun.
Exactly.
All right. Well, Pete, thank you so much for stopping by. We greatly appreciate it. Thanks to Sharon Dalton for stopping by, talking about the Rock This Life event coming up Monday at the Jackson County Fair. Bring all the kids out. It will be a great day for that as well. So, all right. We'll be back here tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you then. Bye-bye.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, The Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.